Welcome to MPA Feedback Stream 33. I am the guild leader, and today with us on stream we have Blae and Radium.
Hello.
Hello.
This is the stream we do every week where we take submissions from members of the community. We listen to their tracks live on stream, and we give our feedback to help you gain a new perspective on your music. If you want to get your track on stream, look for the featured post in our in the community. It's going to be in Amino and Discord. Look for the featured post. You'll see a submission form. Submit your track, and then come back next Friday and check out, get your feedback. All right. And other quick news. Oh yeah, and might as well mention it because we're on YouTube. Be sure to like the video and comment and all that stuff to help the stream out, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the channel.
Okay, yeah, leave your personal feedback for our submissions in the live chat.
Yeah, for sure.
And your social security number and your bank account number. Thank you.
Radium needs.
Yes, that also.
Yeah. In fact, I'll just give my Cash App and you send it directly to me. I want to say real quick, we got 1 day left, or basically 2 days left on the MPA 3 instrument challenge. Basically, the submissions are due tomorrow, Saturday. So if you're just finishing that up, hurry up and get your submission in. And if you haven't started, you still have time. It's just a fun challenge. So download the 3 instruments. Look for the featured posts in the community. And Amino and the Discord, I believe we're going to make sure it's posted on both from here on out. For the post, and you'll see the link. Download the instrument and submit something. Come up with something real fun. It's just a real simple challenge, or you can make it as hard as you want. Submit it by tomorrow in the community, and then we're going to be doing a stream on Sunday to check those out. Blae is going to be doing that for us. All right, and then stay tuned for next month. We're going to be doing the J Percy remix competition, so that should be fun.
Oh, I'm very excited for that.
Me too. Miro says, "Oh, mintymist. Hi, they're best friends. Hey, Minty. Hey, Miro. Hey, Chika. Hey, everyone in the chat." Okay, and then one last thing. Be sure to check out our Saturday production streams we've been doing. So MPA production stream number 3 tomorrow on our Twitch channel. Starts at the same time as this stream. So that's 8 p.m. UTC on our Twitch channel tomorrow. All right. And hey, Fox. Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to pass this over to Blae Hub to get this started.
Okay. Today we got 8 submissions. Yeah. Some last minute changes to the schedule. I think we can get through most of them, I think. 2 are relatively short. One is very short.
If your track don't get on the stream today, which we are going to try to make all of them, but if it don't, we'll just move it to next week. Is that what you're thinking?
The 8th track doesn't really matter if it doesn't get shown. It's by me, but we'll see if we can get that. Anyway, let's start with our first submission for today. I think we should do that now. Our first submission for today is going to be Intro, which is a demo by HV007. HV007. Have fun. All right, that was our first submission for today. It is very long. I can't believe you made us sit through that. I'm gonna read HV's note that they left us. This is the first song. This is the first song that I made in 2021, and it's been a long time since I've been producing music since Lo-Fi Weekend. I hope everyone can stream it and comment on it so I can learn new skills. And make it better. If possible, I would like to thank the leaders and everyone. Oh, that's so sweet. Totally bribing us to get nicer feedback. Okay. So what did you guys think? What did you think, Eld?
All right. Yeah, I actually like to see HV007 posting again. I think I remember most of your music, but it has been a minute since I have to refresh myself on where you've come from then to now through 2021 track. But this is definitely seems like just an intro. In fact, it says intro demo. And what this reminds me of is this is not going to really be a short track because it seems like you're building it up to be like a more traditional progressive house or techno style track where each element comes in like 4 bars later or even 8 bars later, and then you introduce the next sound, and that's almost like people don't do that anymore unless you're in that genre, like deep in that genre. But it's funny because that's how like a lot of original electronic music was done. It was like, how do you really build up a song and stuff? In electronic, and especially techno and in other forms, it was like, because you got all these like sequencers, right? You're thinking like you got like this wall full of analog sequencers or whatever you're working with, or different electribes or samplers, and you're sequencing patterns and little sounds and then you put all those together to kind of build up the full picture. But then to build up the song, you kind of introduce just the kick drum at first, and then the kick and the snare, and then a little sing, and then the hi-hat to come in, and you kind of introduce each thing. And I actually really like that style. I don't listen to much of that stuff anymore, and a lot of people, they don't make tracks long enough to really do that. It's kind of like, that whole saying, don't bore us, just get to the chorus, just like get to the hook, like drop everything really quick, and then kind of like do a little build up. And so it's a different way of producing that is, like, I think, underappreciated. And but it definitely is meant for the long listen, or the trance, like the more like you're gonna like vibe out to this for a little while, because you got to give the track time to build up. And when you do listen to music like that and the track's done right, there's usually a really big payoff if you do the track right. But so anyways, just being an intro, I think you got something good going here, but it really is about how you finish it off if you do all that stuff I was talking about. And it could still be a short track. Who knows? Maybe you just build it up into the drop and then that's it. But I'm just saying it has the potential here to be just a really nice, long progressive house track, which it's sounding pretty good. I'll let other judges comment a little bit more about what they heard. But from what I heard, it's like you got a good thing started, but it's really all up to like, what are you going to do with it? Like, how are you going to finish this out? Like, this is just a really good idea and just an intro. So good job. Thanks for submitting. It is cool to see you back and kind of posting again and stuff. So I'll pass it over to Blae. What do you think, Blae?
All right. Yeah, I like short things. I have a CD, which is a piano suite I composed, which is in total 4 minutes long. It has 4 movements. So there's a piece in there that's only the first movement is only, I think, around 50 seconds also. So I like short things. Yeah, definitely feels like the opening to like a bigger part, a bigger thing, I guess. So it really does seem like just the intro to something. But in terms of style, I got more a picture of those life hack videos. To me, this sounds like background music for life hack videos. So like videos of people showing you how you can fix a tie by buying a new tie or something. It's those strange videos. Sounds like definitely more like corporate music, something like that. Yeah, trum. Yeah, that's sort of the vibe I'm getting from this. So I don't know what you're going for. I don't know what the intention is. It seems like something.
I noticed. I'll just jump in real quick. I do notice that, and it's kind of sad that a lot of commercials and like simple things like Blae's talking about, like people are looking for music to use in the background music. They jump to like this, and I feel bad for the future bass artists too, because you start to hear all this stuff. You're like, oh, that just sounds like just another cookie cutter future bass track, but it's just like some of my favorite artists even. And that people using it for background music like that is almost ruining the genres, or at least that style in the genre. So I could say like it's not your fault. It's not the producer's fault as much as it is also just the fact that all these like people use this kind of music. I mean,
there's a reason why corporations like using this music. I don't know if I should mention it or if that's too mean. But the thing is, if you have a brand that is pretty bland, you don't really do anything. It's you just want to sell the product. What's the best way to do it? To fill in a broad market. Get music that fits on a broad market. It's just music that is replaceable, really basic, and fits to everyone. That's the best way to go about it. That's why corporate music sounds the way it does, and a lot of people only hear this kind of music. They watch ads and stuff, and TV shows use this sort of music a lot of times now because it's modern and stuff like that. So people get really used to it, and people start liking it, even though it's not really shouldn't be likable actually. But it's it's what you grew up with. It's what you if you grow up only only ever like I don't know if you grow up in like a terrible household, and people always tell you that blue is actually red, at some point you'll believe it, and it'll be completely feel wrong to you if people call red and not blue. It's, it's just the way you grow up. So really the reason why a lot of corporate videos and stuff use this sort of music, which might not have been the original intention, is because the music that was done before usually was made to fit a really, really broad audience. So it's perfect for advertising. And that's sort of one of my bigger issues with a lot of this sort of music. It's not EDM in general. It's not future bass. I don't know future bass if that's sort of the corporate thing, but I hear a lot of like when I like see a video or something with like people in a club or something, and I hear this sort of music, it's like, yeah, this could totally be in an advertisement, and it's just because it's super basic, broad thing that just you want just the most as many people as possible to sort of vaguely resonate with it, and yeah, that's just it's just really basic and bland. Not saying that yours HV. I'm not saying that yours is that. I'm just sort of trash talking, just sort of trash talking on corporate music at this point. But I can totally. That's the thing is I'm instantly getting this in my head, and that does mean something, and I guess that's my feedback is to try and spot when you create super broad marketing music, because there's enough of that. But you could make a lot of money with it, so I don't know if that's what you want, Yeah. I don't know. It's definitely like a short intro. I don't know. I have nothing against short things. I think people should make more short things. But you could put way more in this amount of time than you did here, because you had 3 chords. I counted. It's 3 chords, none more. And I believe in my 50-second movement, I don't even know. A lot more. Anyway, you can fit so much in 50 seconds. Maybe we should do a 50-second song challenge and have people.
I like that.
Try
or at least
to fit
a
as
minute.
much of the
Like
story in
under
that.
a minute. Like a 60.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Actually, 60 minutes
have like
is
a
really.
beginning and an intro.
60 minutes is really long. I'm
60
working.
seconds.
I'm working in film mainly with like short films, or like a lot of short films. There isn't so many full feature length films, especially in 2020, 2021. And it's surprising how long a few seconds can be. It's surprising how long. You don't realize it.
Exactly.
But yeah, that is my feedback. Got a bit out of hand. I hope you don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. Definitely not trying to insult or anything. But yeah. Anyway, gonna give it over to Radium.
Yes. I kind of feel like I need the context to like really be able to give good feedback, because like, is it an intro to an album or an intro to a YouTube video for a YouTuber? Because like, if I review the track alone, it's short, yeah. It sounds like it's going to a good direction, but the fact that it stops before anything truly happens, it's like I would need a context. Like what it's an intro, but to what?
That's
kind
I
of
think
like,
that's I think that's the point with that's where my corporate video statement's coming from. It's like there is no context. It's just super
I'm guessing
broad.
it's an intro into a longer song is what I'm getting at. Like this is like the very beginning of a song.
I thought it was just a random intro. Like we have
in this
3
style
like
of music.
different...
What it sounded like to me is a progressive house song. It could easily go 5-7 minutes with some of these genres, and this is just the intro. Like, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Sorry, Radium. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like the intro to like mediocre Troom. Yes. Yeah, stuff like 5 minutes craft, but none of the crafts they're showing you are actually 5 minutes and shit. Yeah, it's, I don't know, like I need the context.
Smear
but like
toothpaste
alone,
on your phone and destroy it further.
Yes.
I would like to hear.
Other than that,
more context. With more context.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those tracks you need to know what it's going to be for, because the track on its own, like, yeah, the instrumentals, the instruments and the sound seems good. It did kind of sound very generic a little bit when I listened to it. Like, I don't know, like, I thought it was going to be like the very generic beginning of a random pop song. But yeah, I don't know. I need the context. It's a bad feedback, but I
Telling you
need the
there's
context.
none. I'm telling you right now, there's no context.
Then that is the most confusing track ever.
I think the mix is
corporate.
I think it makes it clean. It's really about where you take it. You could take this track, and again, I mean, playing to the like I always say, and like what you were even saying, Blae, maybe that's his plan to sell it to corporate track or sell it as a corporate track, as for commercial music. But as we're always kind of trying to motivate the members to try to make something more unique and something a little bit more forward thinking and stuff like that. So it's really about where you take it. I think this is an intro to a longer song. Some producers work from beginning to end. Some producers work like different parts. But I'm thinking this is like literally the beginning of a song, and it's going to break down into other parts of the song, and it's going to end up being like a 3-minute to 5-minute long song or something. And I would just say, so if you bring it back to us, we'd be able to give you a little bit more of like, oh, it ended up being very generic, or maybe you take it in another direction that's super creative. But we definitely here, especially Blae, we encourage the creative minds and people to really think outside the box.
Yeah.
So
very generic, but I mean that's what I mean. You can pack so much in a couple of seconds. There's so much you can do. Yeah. All right, cool. I think we should.
We've got plenty to move on.
Yeah, we should speed things up. Actually, if we don't get through all of them or most of them. Cool. Anyway, our next submission is going to be kinda, maybe, really, really work in progress by mintymist. Love the title. Just great. Have fun. All right. So that was kind of maybe really, really work in progress. Work in progress by mintymist. And Minty left us a note, which goes as follows. I wanted to play... I wanted to play... Oh, I can't read. It's normal text. I just can't read. I wanted to play around with my own vocal takes, and this is what I ended up with. The mix and master isn't all there yet, but I want to know what you think about the composition, musically speaking. I've also been working on making my own synth patches, so I want to know what you guys think about the sound design. Okay. So, what did you guys think? What did you think, Geld?
Okay. Well, I love Minty Mist's style, and I would say this is definitely. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I still like take you, Minty, and then maybe you have mentioned this, but you're still trying to like kind of cement your style. Like you're still trying to figure out your style, even though you definitely like have like a lot of it nailed down. You know, I can't quite label it because you actually do throw sounds in there that would come from many other genres, or if not like styles of music or whatever. Or I don't know. You pretty much you have this way of blending different things. And I used to say lo-fi stuff, but you're really not going just the lo-fi route. You took a lot of influence from the way people did lo-fi and started bringing in a lot of the jazzy stuff. I think back lo-fi brought a lot of jazzy stuff back. So did future bass when it first came out, because it was almost like, oh, future bass was jazzy chords, but then everyone took it in a different direction. But when lo-fi took on the jazzy chords, everyone really started getting more soulful and funkier and jazzy, and really it works really well. But I noticed you don't do just the lo-fi thing anymore. You're kind of like, you took it and I mentioned a lot last week how Pure Lemon has a style that I say it's very video game / anime influenced, and kawaii almost still bits of kawaii style music or whatever that's called. I would say you have a lot of that too, but I think yours is a little bit more like seasoned, or like as in like more experience. You make a better version of, I think, even what Pure Lemon. But even though it's like many very different styles, like you'll have a different style, but I'm saying the influence of it's very like cartoony / anime / cute / lo-fi / that's the vibe I get. But I think you do a really good job at it. Okay, now this song, and especially in this song here, and talking about your sound design, how you were like asking about your sound design, I liked a lot of the synths here. I think they need to be a little thicker, a little fuller, or a little wider, if anything. Like that one that kind of like that lead synth that kind of vibrates a little bit or vibratos a little bit. It's like right down the middle. If that was a little wider or something, it'd fill it out a little bit more. And then your bass was really wide. It was interesting. Like it was almost like the bass itself didn't fit in the mix. It almost seemed like it could be, but it's just really wide. So I would say work on the mix for sure. Like make sure everything seems like it's on a stage, like you're looking at a stage and there's a band on stage, or you're on the stage yourself. You can put yourself into perspective like the drummer and looking out at the audience, or put yourself in the perspective of the audience looking up on stage. And what I mean by that is you want to put all the different instruments in their own place, but yet together, like on a stage. And that's how you want to use, I don't know if you're doing this, but it's really important that you do that with the reverb. You don't want to use many different reverbs. You want to use like a good reverb to simulate a room. And you want to put all the different instruments and sounds as if they were different members of the band in that virtual space. And you really want to listen as if it comes off as much better recording when you do it like that, even in electronic music. And I would say some of these elements just didn't really fit as if they were like in the same room or on this, like, I don't know. But I love the song. I actually really liked it. I think you're one of the most creative that we have with the way you just kind of like the song just kind of it's like a journey, listen to it. The leads just kind of go on and on. Oh yeah, one last thing. I really enjoyed the vocals in this one. I think you could have played with them a little bit more. They were a little repetitive here and there, but they were the style that were supposed to be that way. But really nice job on that. I like the way you did that. So I hope I'm giving good feedback today and not just rambling, but I'm going to go ahead and pass that over to Blae.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like the vocal bits and pieces too. I think okay, so I think this is something I said before somewhere. I don't know if it was in one of those one of these streams, or if it was during the voting for the for one of the competitions we had. But I said that I'm starting to I don't want to get. I want to say. I'm gonna say I'm starting to get very, very used to the way you compose these, Minty. What I mean by that is, yes, they are in a very specific style. Yet I'm not talking about the style. I'm talking about the musical language within that, which I feel like you're not really exploring to the extent that you could explore it. So what I mean is, especially listening to when you listen to one of these tracks, then it's obviously not so apparent. It's just a nice track standing on its own. The thing is, I know your other stuff, and it is very, very similar to this. The intervals you use, the chord progressions you use, they're very similar. They all convey the sort of samey idea. So most people on the stream know that I'm very story driven when it comes to music, because music is a storytelling medium. So to me, this gets kind of boring, because I just see you telling the same story over and over again. And I believe if I would take 3 or 4 of your submissions and would layer them on top of another and maybe transpose them to be in the right key, I would get a very similar structure. And not just the structure, but the actual harmony and the way you write your melodies and stuff like that. Not the same, not like a copy paste kind of thing, but in the sort of moods you work with, the general feel you work with, and the musical language you work with. So that's what I mean when I say I wish to hear something different by you, and by that I don't mean different sounds and stuff. Because here's the thing. I worry with this. You're getting really deep into this sort of have a sound here and have this thing here. This sort of idea of like ear candy, which totally fine in and of itself. But the thing is, if you get lost in that, you're starting to strip away more and more from the core, from the fundamentals of what your music could be. So I'm hearing you doing more and more like different sounds and this synth here and this and that there, whereas in the beginning you had more interesting harmonic progressions, and I'm starting to really miss that. And another thing about this specifically is that, again, with telling stories, you pretty much for the entire track stay on the same idea. It doesn't really change. You don't really go anywhere. It's not really moving. It's like you're telling a story and you say, once upon a time there was a guy sitting on a bench, and he was sitting on this bench while he was sitting on this bench, and he was sitting on the bench while he was sitting on the bench. And this is sort of, you don't really go anywhere. And that's sort of something I'm noticing with this. It sounds nice. If I didn't know anything else, I would say, oh yeah, it's pretty interesting. Can't wait to hear more. Then comes the issue. So yeah. Yeah. Don't take this like super harsh. It's not meant that way. I like your stuff, like hearing it. Yeah, just maybe look and see if you can explore more of your musical vocabulary, and if you can sort of try to sort of branch out and explore the style you're in more, because I think there's more to explore. Okay, I'm gonna give it over to Radium now.
Yes, quite. So, yeah, it definitely feels like a very, very whip. Like, it does feel like there's a main idea, and then, other stuff that you want to try, but you're not sure. I'm sorry, but you're not sure where you want to go with it. That's I definitely see that vibe. And well, let's say like the main idea that I can hear and understand, I like it, but I do agree that it doesn't seem to be going anywhere at the moment. I definitely feel like, as Blae mentioned, that I think it's time to re-explore your music. And I'm gonna give an example. In the song, there's this weird bass sounds that comes, and it feels super out of nowhere, but it's an out of nowhere that is such like a good contrast the rest of the song. Like if you could explore and exploit that part of the song, it could be really it could be like a good addition and something very original while staying in the world of lo-fi, in my opinion. And it's the same thing with the vocals. I feel like it's like there's a few elements in the song that if you try to use them not the way maybe you had planned, maybe outside of the box you have when you make your music, I definitely feel like it could be like great contrast, great addition, something that is definitely different to hear and gonna be very refreshing, not just for the listener but for yourself as you're gonna make it. So if I could really like recommend something, take the elements that you've added that you've never tried before, and don't try to make them fit in with what you're used to do, but try to make them stand out and let the rest of the song try to fit in with them, if it makes sense. Because it makes sense in my head. But like, yeah, use what you have that is new, work on them, not alone, but explore them differently. Then the rest of the song will have to fit with them, and I feel like it's going to force you to get out of your comfort zone. Does it make sense?
I think it's good advice.
Okay, so it makes sense. So that's my advice. Because other than that, I like the song, and I definitely feel like it could be great. But it really just needs to step out of the comfort zone like just a little bit.
Yeah, I always like to hear Minty's creations and to explore that even further. Just anytime, any day. All right, I'm just gonna suggest we usher this along since we do have so many submissions. Who do we got next, Blae?
Yeah. Right, for our next submission, we have Church of Charnels by Chika Pryor. Have fun.
Shit, I've been here before. I'm not ready for more. Look like she ready for war. I'm about to run for the door, picking me up and then bringing me down. She get in my head, then she kicking me out. Think I've had enough, so I'm looking around. But I had enough, but she did what I found. Picking it up and I'm dropping it up. Tell me you're sorry, I don't give a fuck. I've been through it all, yeah, I know what's up. You lie through your teeth and you know how to bluff. Me up and she bringing me down. She get in my head, then she kicking me out. Think I've had enough, so I'm looking around. But I had enough, but she did what I found. Picking me up and then bringing me down. She get in my head, then she kicking me out. Think I've had enough, so I'm looking around. But I had enough, but she did what I found. Getting ready for the battle, she been ready with a weapon, but I'm prepped for Armageddon at the second I step in. You know I'm betting that she reckon I'ma grab her by the neck and catch a murder on my record. Shit, and hate for the record, she really coming at my ass with a chainsaw. Switch it up, bitch, I already took the blades off. I ain't gonna tell you when the motherfucking blades are. Look at how we both go running for the same car. Crazy as shit, I can't even quit it, cause Bae got me whipped. Down by the bay, I was smoking a zip. She came behind me and I heard the clip. She coming back with a loaded mag. She coming back, but I'm over that. All of them stacking, I noticed that. Been through enough, I ain't going back. Look at the way I've been fishing. I reel in the crazy ass bitches. They get what they want, then they dipping. They getting me into submission. They putting me in a position where I lost my trust and I don't think I'll fix it. Never had luck when it comes to this shit and I never gave up yet, but this time I'm thinking like screw this, cause this new chick always telling me I'm really fucking useless. I'm about to lose it, do something stupid. I don't know what's too far, but she's ruthless. Bitch is a witch with a broomstick. She casting a spell on me, catching a felony, actually held on me, losing myself, losing my faith. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Can't do this. Can't do this. Can't do this. Picking me up and I'm feeling myself, bringing me down till I'm killing myself. Never been one to be full of myself, just know when I'm gone that you couldn't have helped. Picking me up and then bringing me down, she get in my head then she kicking me out. Think I've had enough so I'm looking around. Picking me up and then bringing me down, she get in my head then she kicking me out. Think I've had enough so I'm looking around. Thought I had enough but shit look what I found. What are you doing? Get out of my house. You cheated, you bitch, I don't want you around. I'd be a lot better if you left the town. I'd be a lot better if you were not found. Try this again, but it'll not work. I give you my heart, that shit'll get burnt. If I'm coming back, you treat me like dirt, but more like a diamond is what I am worth. Terminate you like Arnold. Even if you turn, bitch, I know it wouldn't work, cause I'm inside of the church of Charnels.
All right, so that was Church of Charnels by Chika prior. And Chika did leave us a super long message again. So here goes. Church of Charnels note. Okay, and a quick side note before I start with the thing actually. I'm sort of second doubting myself, but also not really. Because I triple checked this, how Charnels is pronounced. And I am, let's say, 80 to 90% sure that it's Charnels, not Carnels. So it might be mispronounced in your song. Anyway.
I honestly don't know, but when I first read it, I read Charnels for some reason. So for some reason, the English reading reads Charnels by.
Yeah, but if you look it up on Google, if you look at the thingy, what's it called? There's also some listening examples. I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it.
Chika,
anyway.
How are you pronouncing it? But anyway.
I mean, I'm just the strange German idiot. So yeah, I'd look it up though, because I care about this stuff a lot. I did look it up, and I'm pretty sure there might be a mistake.
Pretty much, but Chika, you're saying it's English pronounced, but what do you mean? Is it pronounced Carnels or Charnels with a CH or?
But what does English mean? Like British? Is it like British English is Charnels? Because when I look on the US Google, it's definitely Charnels. So I'm not sure what that's. Sorry, what?
According to Google Translate, it's pronounced Charnels.
Charnels.
Which is
Charnels. Yeah, different emphasis. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it might be something like that, but I'm really not sure about Carnels. I'm really
well, your
not sure
rapper
about that.
said it wrong. Then is what the point Blae is trying to say, because you're saying CH Chika in the chat, and I think they pronounced it Carnels. But anyways, maybe that's a common thing for people to do.
Yeah, might be. I'd really double check that on your own again, and maybe talk to someone else. And not an opinion, someone who actually knows. Anyway, I'm gonna read the notes. Sorry, we're taking way too long with this. I wanted to mention this later. Okay. So this song is actually about me. This is coming from Chika, of course. Church of Charnels, Carnels, Charnels is about someone thinking I was worthless, a liar because of hearsay, basically. I went mentally not right, but that person should have came directly to me. Now that person doesn't want to speak to me. They have a church of corpse just by listening to other people and not having trust in themselves. I just want to share my story and inspire others while making a impact for mental health. A Church of Charnels talks about no matter how many bones you may have in your closet, doesn't mean that bone you didn't put in the closet is worthless because of hearsay, or it didn't work the first time. You just gotta keep trying, or it will never work. I just hope my music inspires others, honestly, while telling my story. Okay, and there's some special thanks, or also credits. Sean didn't look up the last name. Sean Dalk, or Dolkey, I don't mixing and mastering. Sketch rapper, songwriter. Wait, Sketch? Oh, is that the name? Is Sketch the name? Oh yeah, Sketch, who's rapper and songwriter. I should have looked up the names instead of the Charnel thing. Jaya or Gia Rochelle, singer, Chika Prior, songwriter, producer, arranger. Release date should be on April 20th, so watch out for it. We're going to. And I can see a citizen of the United Kingdom saying that it's pronounced like chicken, Charnel. There we go.
That's what seems like. And even Raven.
So it's mispronounced. It's mispronounced by the background singer and by the rapper. At least at the end, I did hear it pronounced as Carnal.
Right.
Again.
Well, I'll have to listen to that again because Chika's saying it's not. But now I'm just super confused. But regardless, if
anyway, so what did you think, Guild? Here's your. We should keep these real short now because we took so long with that.
The name. Well, I definitely want to give time for some solid feedback. Definitely, if Radium's got something to say to Chika, like she usually does, a little bit more than the rest of us. That being said, I really like this song. I'll keep mine short. I thought this was really well done. Now, you do got credits here for all these other people, so make sure you pass along the compliments to them because I think a lot of this was done. I mean, the rapper was really good. You know, I myself, it's funny because if the music's good, I'll listen to it. I don't usually go out of my way to listen to anything really explicit. I'm just not into like explicit or vulgar language. But if the music's good, I listen to it. And I like a lot of hip hop because I just like the way it sounds. So I listen to it anyways. So I'm not going to comment on the lyrics or whatever because it's just really, again, it's not my taste in lyrics, but I know it's popular. And I think this was done very well. I think the subject matter wasn't too extreme or anything. It was just, you know, it was what it was. And I think the rapper did a really good job at, you know, at his rap, his flow, or whatever you call it. And I think did a really good job stacking the flow, like with the ad libs or whatever you call them. Like really had a really, I don't know, it's like the background vocals had like a Slim Shady sound to them or something like that. It had like a really, every time he did a little stacking of it, it gave you that quality of a recognizable like studio quality like recording vocal stack. So it was really well done in that sense. I would say that I like my hip hop to be dirtier and bassier, like heavier and like almost like just a little more grungy. So I mean, I think this could benefit from that. Like just I don't know what it would maybe just like a dirtier layer on top of the bass and the 808 or whatever you're using, or maybe the kick hit a little harder or something. But other than that, I think this was very well done. If I was just going to say compare it to all your tracks without thinking about the credits and who did what, this is actually one of the best things I think you've submitted for sure because it seems very complete. Like when you say this is coming out soon, I could say, okay, yeah, maybe touch it up a little. But you have a good song here. Go ahead and release it. When a lot of other things you said you were going to release, I was like, you need to take this back to the drawing board and like redo the vocals or whatever. This sounds like it could be, you know, you could be happy with this if you just do the last little touches that you want to do to it. But I think this is very good. I'm going to keep mine short and pass it over to Blae. What do you think, Blae?
All right. So, yeah. Aside from the issues with the pronunciation of that word and the existence of the word, yeah. No, I think it's fine. Typical sort of, rap thing, yeah, definitely put in a lot of effort. It's nice to hear something more through and through produced by Chika or which Chika had part in. Yeah, I just want to, before you release this, I think it's fair to give you really honest feedback, and I think I think this is a great use of the feedback stream that you can really do some last minute changes before the release, which is relatively soon. So you still have time to fix some things. For one, the pronunciation of this word, which most definitely is charnel, as we've discovered. So you should. I'd probably fix that. It's a bit embarrassing. And one other thing that I've noticed, because I saw your note, I did take care to actually check this with my meters, and as I suspected, it is mixed. It's mastered too loud. So you should really go over that again with the person who was mixing it. Probably they could probably take care of the mastering in the end. So you should really pay attention to your true peak ceiling. You should not rely on like heavy limiting and compression, because that's really not good for the platforms, like all the streaming platforms and stuff. You will most likely upload this to. So it's really important to take a Louv's reading of this all, which is sort of more like a perceived volume analysis. So you really should go over that again, or else the quality of everything is gonna suffer. Really, like it's gonna suffer if you upload it anywhere. I recommend that you go on our YouTube channel and scroll down to the bottom. There's a playlist called MPA recommends videos and music, whatever. There's a video right at the start, which is actually just about that. It's a video that explains really well. It's called The Future of Mastering Loudness in Streaming. I recommend everyone to look at this video, to watch this video. It is packed with information. There are a lot of great tips in there, and really great explanation and examples for why this really does matter. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. That is how streaming platforms handle this sort of stuff, and you have to deal with this if you don't want the quality to suffer. Because your stuff is going to fall through if you don't do that. Anyway, really do take a look at that again. This is probably a bigger release for you. I would really advise you to take the time to do that. You're really going to regret this if you don't look at these things again. Especially the mastering part. Okay. Well then, gonna give it over to Radium.
Yeah, so I will be short in my feedback. First of all, Google said it's pronounced Charnels, and that is how I will pronounce it. It reminds me of the French pronunciation, and it is a French word. So I will be pronouncing it Charnels. But yes, I feel like there's a consensus that it is mispronounced in the song, so I feel like the rap/vocals need to be redone unless someone comes with, I don't know, a pronunciation. Unless someone thinks that it's valid to be pronouncing it Charnels. What else was I going to say? Yes, I believe that this song is a bop. It's bop. Bop. It's a bop. Wow. It is very good, in my opinion. The rapper knows what he's doing. I did hear him at some points, maybe closer to the second verse, where he was kind of rapping faster to the beat to keep up. I did notice that. Yeah. So maybe listen again, make sure that, like, I would hate that you're gonna release something with a rapper that's at some point messes up, especially since it's important to follow the beat. Other than that, I don't have much to say. I love you, but I have no idea what the song is about, and even the note didn't help me. But you were right. Inspire people to be them. Honestly, let me check the note again. Inspire people, keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you're in the right direction, and hopefully that release is kind of like the thing that breaks the glass wall that stops you from releasing more stuff. Mm-hmm. And yes, I will be waiting on April the 28th. What am I doing on April the 28th? Let me see. What do I have on April the 20th? I have nothing on April the 20th. So I will be,
Chika Day. Chika new song day.
yeah, I will be writing this down in my planner. And if the song is not out as you promised, I will come find. You said
Right.
April 20th. I have nothing that day, so I will be waiting. Other than that, it's a very good song. Very nice work, and it's up. It shows that it's mostly your work, but that you just found like. I have the vibe that it's really a song that you made, even though you didn't sing a rap, and that's fine. You didn't mix it either, and I don't blame you. I don't know how to mix either, but it's one of those songs where it's obvious that you worked on it. You didn't just like give the job to someone else, and it really shows. So yeah, thumbs up, and I will be waiting for April 20th.
Me too.
All right. Okay. I think we should move on right ahead and go to the next track because we've been talking
About Charnels.
yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about that for quite a bit. Anyway, and there's some discussions, some interesting discussions going on in the chat. I would make use of Miro's extremely kind offer. Because yeah, that should be fixed. That's really nasty that they charged anything for something that they didn't actually do. They charged for mastering. They didn't do mastering. So, okay, let's go to our next submission. Which is going to be okay, Kiiara Messy Fornaciz remix by Fornaciz. Have fun.
Been sleeping over for the past couple of weeks, making a habit out of it. Yeah, when I woke up, I saw your toothbrush on the sink. It kinda scared me, I'll admit. If there's a lie, then I think that we crossed it. Second time you stayed the night. If there's a cure, then I think that I lost it. And I should take my own advice. Let's stop before it gets try to tell myself you gotta take it slow. I always jump in way too fast. Yeah, if you wake up and I'm not there, it's nothing personal. Just got some problems from my past. Yeah, if there's a lie, then I think that we crossed it. Second time you stayed the night. If there's a cure, then I think that I lost it. And I should take my own advice. Let's stop before it gets messy. Let's stop before it gets heavy. If not too late, you say you never let me. Let's stop before it gets
All right, so that was the Messy Fornaciz remix, the Kiiara Messy Fornaciz remix by Fornaciz. Damn. Titles, you guys. What the hell? Anyway, Fornaciz did leave us a message, so here is their message. Hi, I'm Fornaciz, pronounced Fornaciz? Oh, should have looked at that. Fornaciz. Fornaciz. Okay. This track is a weird / unique one. Would appreciate judgments on mixing. Thank you. Fornaciz. This was delivered to you by Heating Ovens Furnace. All right. Funny joke. What did you think, Guild?
All right, Forn for short, Fornaciz. So this is a remix. I have not heard the original, but you know, we put it on stream. We usually don't do remixes on the stream, but Blae let this one slide, which I'm fine with whatever Blae wants to do. But that being said, I haven't heard the original, so I don't know what the original sound like. So I'm not going to comment on it if it's a remix. I'm just going to comment on if this is like your track because it was very electronic and stuff. So, I think the vocal chops were cool, but just not the whole time. Like it seemed like the vocal chops you make the vocal chops like the main element. Which I know a lot of people do that, but it's just how you do it. And I think these vocal chops were almost more the vocal chops that should just come and go every once in a while. It's kind of like you splash it in, like kind of like, or just a couple bars of the vocal chops, then you kind of do another instrument, another sound. You made them like the main thing in this, which they had this weird like pumping effect. Maybe it was a side chain that you put on them. It probably was a lot to do with that, but because of the heavy side chain you had on the vocal chops and making them like the main element, they just weren't mixed into the mix right. They were just kind of like sitting way up on top, as if they were like a lead vocal, but they're not. They're vocal chops. But I like the idea of this. You have a really neat idea here. It's nothing really new. It just seems like, this has definitely been done before. It's like a future house, future bass style track, especially with the vocal chops. But it seems like it just suffering from the way you mixed it, and then the vocal chops, the way you arranged the vocal chops. Like you could have just done a little less of them, I think. I don't know. I don't know if the original, again, haven't heard the original. So if the original is all about those vocal chops too, I'd have to really compare them. But the way you did the vocal chops, it seems like there should have been more of a background element and something that you peppered in, not something that you made like the full thing. That was my first initial thought. But as someone that does listen to electronic music, I do enjoy like creative sound design and neat, like just, catchy little short, simple melodies and stuff here and there. This is a nice idea, but I think it just needs to be mixed down again and arranged a little differently. Like make something else the lead. Like take the vocal chops, make them like the second most important element or whatever if you want to keep them, and take something else, another sound or something, and make it the lead. And I think it would have, or in a future song. I don't always give my feedback as like go fix this song, because if you're done with this, you're done with it. But in future songs, like just take that consideration. Like I don't know, like just what's your lead sound and how you're mixing it. I don't know, just something to consider. And you can use this track as a reference if you're just really kind of lost on it. Just use going forward. I think the lead should be a little bit more, for one, in the mix. But if it's going to be that vocal chop, it needs to be a little. It just needs to be different, like arranged different. I hope I'm making sense there. It just really wasn't feeling the main vocal chop the whole time. Okay, I'll pass mine over to Blae.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, I have to give a quick heads up, because when Guild mentioned it, I totally realized I was very tired today. We don't usually allow remixes on stream because the law is very shall we say split on that matter. It's very possible that we might get copyright claim for this, in which case we'll have to mute the audio for this. Yeah, usually we don't. Usually, I was very tired today when I set up the stream, so I did not pay attention to that. Though I did listen to the original. Yeah, I was just very dumb today, so we might have to mute the audio for this part. Very sorry about that. Anyway, I did listen to the original, and I noticed that the original song is incredibly annoying, especially in the beginning, which your song is not so annoying, your version of it. But then later it gets more annoying, so it sort of cancels each other out. So I'm so sorry I had to say that, but I'm being honest. I'm being honest. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't like dealing with remixes because it's sort of the same thing I tell people. It's a worse version of vocal sample packs. It's a worse version of that because people download these vocal packs to use to have vocals on your track, and they sort of dictate what sort of harmony you work with, the melodies and stuff. This is worse because they literally dictate everything. The song already exists, so what are you gonna do? You're gonna throw some effects, maybe move around some of the harmony and stuff. So yeah, this is a very, very light remix, is what I would say. There's just adding effects and sort of rearranging a couple of things, but you're not really doing a lot with it. Whereas other remixes, they sometimes do actually transform the track to something completely different, which is sort of missing here, which is something I would have totally it's something I would have personally liked more. But yeah, I think you did a quality wise, this is mostly decent. You had to work with what you had to work with, so there's that. But yeah, I'd like to hear more purely original things by you. I think that's always more interesting. I don't think things need vocals. I think we're oversaturated with vocals, so I'd always appreciate something that is just purely instrumental and your own composition. Yeah, aside from that, yeah, mastering advice, I'd advise you, as I would everyone else, to look at this video that we have in our recommended playlist on our YouTube channel. At the very bottom, there's a video in there. It is called The Future of Mastering Loudness in Streaming. Or is there more to the title? Loudness in the Age of Music Streaming. I knew there was something missing there. It's a really good video. You should watch it. It explains some technical limitations and reasons for mastering your things properly. This is too loud. This is what I'm basically saying. This is too loud. Okay. Yeah. I think it's the sort of standard thing you'd expect from a remix like this. So there isn't really much I could say to it. Yeah, I'd like to hear more original things. I think just judging from the quality of this, I think you know enough to really work with your own stuff, and I'd love to see that way more than remixes. But I know this is getting some attention to people who look for this original song, and they may see this down the line. So this is probably a good way to gain more traction to your stuff. So nothing against the advertising, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give it over to Radium.
Okay, oops, I was not ready. My bad. I'll just be quick. I have a couple of questions before I begin. I wish I'd known what the goal behind the remix is. I don't know if you briefly mentioned it in your note. I don't know. You just said it's unique or weird. I don't know. Because I'm not sure what direction you were gonna take by doing a remix, because I don't know. To me, what a remix is taking a song that already exists and switching it up one way or another, and I'm not getting the vibe that it was switched up one way or another when I listened to this. While the others doing their feedback, I quickly went and found the original song, and it feels oh my god, okay, it's gonna sound super mean, but I don't have a different word, but it sounds just as lackluster as the original song. The original song sounds like this basic indie radio pop thing, and here I get the same vibe. So I'd like to know what the goal behind the remix was. Was it exploring something new for you? Just playing with accessible vocals? Because it sounds empty. It sounds very I don't have the vibe that it's a track on its own. I got the vibe that it's you got samples, you got vocal samples, and you decided to just kind of go with them, and that's all fine. like, it's good to do tracks just to learn how to do something new. But yeah, I kind of like to have the mindset behind the remix that we're gonna have to mute on the stream. Other than that, I don't know. I don't have much to say because the vocals aren't yours. There's not much up with the instrumental of the track unless I'm not remembering.
Vocals, melody, harmony, all not yours. Yeah, what's left?
There's not much to say except if I had the context behind what the remake was supposed to be, maybe I would be able to give you something more. I suck at mixing, so I can't even help with that. I'm not even sure if I have the equipment to mix properly. So yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry. It sucks, but like I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the future,
No,
please.
I think the most important takeaway from this is, do your own original stuff
Yeah, especially for our people.
and watch the video I recommended. Yeah. No, yeah, we're sorry. We'll probably have to mute this right after the stream. Because we're most likely going to get a copyright claim for it, which
That
shouldn't-
and just for good principle, just to stick with
yeah,
our whole
yeah. I was
So,
very tired
because-
today. I shouldn't have let it slide. I did not think about it for 1 second. It was very stupid on my side. Because there's a checkbox when you submit something that states that you own the rights to everything, which is part of your track. Which this is just not the case. And the thing is, fair use and transformative whatever. These are all gray areas. So it might be this the one day, and the next day we might have a completely different case. So yeah, this is really hard to deal with, and that's why we don't, allow this. That's one of the major big risks that you take with this kind of stuff. If you don't have explicit permission by the people, maybe you do. Maybe you do. In that case, I would appreciate if you could send that to us. So if we get claimed, we can dispute it. Anyway. Because I'm not going to file a dispute on this, I'm just going to mute it because we do not have the rights for this vocal part most likely, which, yeah, that's really dumb. Anyway, I think we should move on now.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say Fornaciz, please. I'd like we would definitely like to hear some of your originals. So submit maybe just original
submit
for next
original stuff. All right, our next submission is going to be BBP by Fox of Untrustable. And I believe this is the non-distorted version of last week's track. So I'm going to be very kind and play this one today. Anyway, have fun.
We got a big bad, got a big bad, we got a big bad, got a big bad, he got a big bad, big bad, big bad, big bad, he got a big bad problem. We got a big bad. Got a big bad. We got a big bad. Got a big bad. Bob, we got a big bad. Big bad. Got a big bad. Big bad. We got a we got a big bad problem. Big bad problem. Big bad problem. Big bad problem. Big bad problem.
All right, so that was BBP by Fox of Untrustable. Okay, Fox did not leave us a message, so here's a quick explanation why Fox decided to go with Fox of Untrustable. The reason is, last week we got a sound bomb with, I believe it was the same track, but super distorted, but not by distorting it properly, but by just pushing it past the digital limitations of volume. So, yeah, that was not pleasant at all. Anyway, so yeah, what did you think, Guild?
You gained a little trust back. No, no,
Little bit.
no, I was trying to hear what your track actually sounded like through all the distortion, and you just couldn't last week. It's neat to actually hear how different it actually sounds, because I didn't realize what you had going on. And when you take away all that improper distortion and limiting and stuff, you actually got it's track's way too simple. Like, but I want to go ahead and say, I say this always, and I just want everyone to know, I try, because we're giving feedback to members that continually give us tracks to give feedback on. I'm trying to give feedback to based on your tracks, and then if I'm giving, then I'll give more general just advice for everybody. But just based on your tracks, Fox, I still think you're improving. It's really neat to see. I mean, you said that you were going to switch from a phone to some kind of desktop or laptop, and we all were, oh, you're going to, it's going to be so much easier. You're going to be able, and we were excited to hear what you would start producing. I don't know if you did, and I don't know if this is it, but it does sound like a progression. But yeah, it's important that you keep it clean like this. Don't distort it wrong. If you want distortion, you want to do it through distortion plugins with soft clippers and do it the right way. You don't want to do it the wrong way. But I would say this track is too simple. It's a really good foundation for something that could be something so much more, because it just seems like it's missing a lot. But by adding the wrong thing, you could ruin it, because you could take the same foundation and just take it and make it sound really like, I don't want to hear this. But if you take this and add something, it has to be something really neat, like enjoyable to listen to add in here and to spice this up, because on its own, it's just too like it goes on and on. It's kind of like carries on with the same old like vocal sample is like your signature talk box. I mean, your signature speak and spell style vocal that you always do. So it's expected from you, but I think you could do something a little bit more with the vocal samples and effects and stuff to kind of spice the track up. I wanted to say one last thing. So that's just for you. Like, I think this is definitely a progression in Fox of Galaxy's, Fox of Untrustable's music, but comparing it to other music in the genre, you definitely got to work. You got to clean up the low end. Yours is like really muddy and like harsh. But only one other thing before my time is up. Listen to your bass. It clicks on its own. It has a click. Like, you need to add just a little bit of attack, like a few milliseconds of attack. So that initial little like clip, you might be mistaking it as a nice transit, but it's really not. Use the kick drum for the transient and use the bass. Make this bass a little smoother by adding some attack to it. But so it kind of just quickly swells up to the sound instead of just immediate, because you do have that harsh click. Like, it's literally a click. Like, you would want to declick the sample, because your bass has that clicking. Sometimes it comes from not side chaining properly. So just see why it's clicking like that, and you might want to fix that. Anyways, I'm gonna pass it over to Blae.
All right. Yes. Yeah, I'm really just gonna say one thing. Watch the video that I recommended. No, for real though. I think really everyone today and ever could benefit from watching that video that I recommended. Again, it's on our YouTube page. It's all the way down in the recommended videos. Videos titled "The Future of Mastering: Loudness in the Age of Music Streaming." It's super important that we all understand this. You know, we're music producers in the digital age of music production. We need to know this. This is what we do. This is what music producers do. We need to know the technical aspect of our jobs. This is what we do. So yeah, watch that video. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that there wasn't a sound bomb in this one. Like that was last week. But it's still just way too loud, you know. I'm a bit sad because I did think that you had some really good ideas for you submitted something more calm that was just like a glockenspiel, or I mean that's the name. I'm trying to think of something like those music boxes. You had something like that at some point, and I liked that much better than this kind of stuff. I think it had a lot more potential, especially since, you know, the effort for these. I think I think it would be really nice to hear more of the calmer stuff where you actually work with melody and with harmony, whereas this is sort of mashing together sounds you found in a pack and, you know, just sort of arranging it. But anyway, believe that's what's going on anyway, unless it would be more respectable, the effort you put into, you know, coming up with crazy patches and stuff and crazy sounds, but I don't think that's really what's going on here. Anyway, yeah, watch the video, learn about mastering. It's super, 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 super important. All right, I'm gonna give it over to Radium.
Yes, I'm gonna keep my thing short. I don't have much to say. I'm not sure what else to say, but I will say I liked it. I really liked it. Yeah. I don't know. It was simple, but simple in a nice way, to me at least. I wouldn't be able to speak on anything that is technical or whatever. But yeah, I like this strange way of not really knowing what's gonna come next, or I feel like the fact that there were so minimal sounds, it kind of forced you to focus on how the song went on the arrangement. And it was kind of sometimes hard to kind of pinpoint where the song was going. So I quite like that. I don't know if it's the style you like, or you were just kind of just trying things out, but I don't know. I liked it. I don't have much to say.
Cool. Kind of reminded me of a Res track. I don't know if that's someone you listen to, Fox, but maybe you're going for some kind of down tempo, like more like, I think. So cool. Thanks for submitting, Fox.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for not dropping atomic bombs on our heads. Anyway, okay, I think we should move on to our next submission, which is going to be The Trip, featuring Lex Stokes by Lil Terrestrial. Have fun.
Take a trip with your trip for two,
All right, so that was The Trip featuring Lex Stokes by Lil Terrestrial. Lil Terrestrial did leave us a note, which goes as follows. A track from my upcoming album, E.T. Cruiser, with vocals from the wonderful artist by the name of Lex Stokes. Who would have guessed? One of the 3 synth trap type songs in the album. All right. So what did you think, Geld?
Cool. I mean, I think the vocals definitely made this track, but not. I wanted to say it was just the vocals for sure. I think this. Well, first of all, I think this is my favorite track I've heard from you, Little Terrestrial. But I think it has a lot to do with the vocals. I think the vocals I enjoyed listening to them. I mean, I'm still not, Well, I mean, I can for the life of me think of the track, but it reminds me of one of my favorite tracks that came out last year. But I just really like how chill this was, and I liked how the vocals were like transcending, like they it's so. I mean, it had a lot. It had just that that whole auto tune thing, but with a lot of reverb and that whole thing that's been done again and again and again. But I think you did it right. I don't think it's been done to the point in this genre as like in hip hop. It's been done played out, even though it hasn't run its course yet. But it's still, some would say it's been played out. But in these new, I don't know what you call them. They're definitely indie genres, new pop, indie, the new R&B and soul stuff, the new almost like borderline emo stuff, but like a lot of that new stuff you hear, like you hear on the SoundCloud charts, just come out like last year and stuff. Those kind of vocals, it really fits in that kind of those kind of things. So it really, there's still a lot of room for it, and I think it's like the perfect time to release something like this. But so I'm not going to give too much more feedback on this track because I actually liked it. I'm just going to give you feedback on the rest of your album EP that you're working on. Make sure that they hold up to kind of like use this as a standard, because I actually like this track a lot. But like I said, the vocals were a big part of it. So make sure your other tracks have something in them that stand up and hold up to the vocal performance in this. It could be a really nice lead, it could be a really nice sound or another vocal or whatever, but make sure all your tracks have, what I think the vocals brought to this track and really carried this track through in your style. You definitely, like I said last time you submitted something, you very much have your own style and your own world and universe that you're creating with your imagery and your art and your sound. And these vocals really did that justice and did a really good job. I would just hope that the rest of your album kind of lives up and plays up to this, So just think about that. All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Blae.
All right, just muted myself again. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting sort of piecing this album together more and more with every feedback stream. We're sort of listening to the album progressively one step at a time, week by week. every Friday, a new piece of the album. Right. Super funny. I like it. It's awesome though. It's nice. Yeah. Just wondering if the autotune, if it was actually a stylistic choice or if it was necessary. Haha. Just kidding. No. Yeah. I don't really want to say much to this about this. It's definitely not something I normally listen to. I like things that explore more complex ideas, more complex emotions and stories. But it's definitely if you're sitting on a car in outer space on like an alien infested planet, it's probably a good way to sort of get your thoughts away from the alien invasion, or in this case, I think you're the alien invading this. I don't know. Something. I don't know. Yeah. I did do a quick check of all of these, and it's the same with all things. I think most people just don't really know this, apparently. But yeah, it's again the issue with the master. Just something. If I think this. Okay, since it's upcoming, you can maybe still fix something, but probably not if it's already sent to the distributors. So for the next time, make sure you take a loose reading off of this and you really understand how this works. And again, I told you guys that I would mention this video a million times in this stream. On our YouTube channel at the very bottom, there's a playlist with recommended videos. There's a video right at the start about the future of mastering loudness in the age of music streaming. It's a great video, really.
We're gonna have to make our own video. Blae's gonna have to give us some examples.
Yeah,
of
no, no, but honestly, I just want everyone on here to watch this video because it's super important, and most people just don't really know. They don't care because they don't know how heavily it impacts their music. Honestly, it's not so bad with this one, but it's still mixed to the 0 dB ceiling on the digital meter. So yeah, don't do that. Anyway, I'm just gonna give it over to Radium now.
Oof, I almost missed. I almost forgot. I was beefing with someone on Twitter.
Twitter beef.
Always, every day. Some people are trying it on Twitter and like, no. I liked. Well, I'm gonna start. I liked the track. It's not something I will listen all the time because I love tracks with this very low kind of vibe. But even for me, it feels a bit too empty for my liking. Like I listen to it if it were on the playlist, but I wouldn't like buy it or whatever. Someone mentioned something about this track, and I don't see it being a single. You know, if you go the traditional way of putting out a song, I don't
Right.
see it as a single. I see it as just like a part of the album because it's. I'm searching for my words to be nice, as nice as possible.
Super hard sometimes, I know.
Yes. I just don't see it as being a single. It's a track on the album, but it's not the single. It's not the thing that's gonna make the album sell. Then again, as independent artists, fuck the way the music industry does it. But I don't know. It's maybe not the track I would put forward the most. That's just like the way I see it. Other than that, it's a good track. I wasn't expecting the trap drums to come out of nowhere. So that was nice. The vocalist.
100 gex. That's what I was trying to think of. Oh, sorry. I just popped in my head. I wonder if that had any influence from 100 gex or whatever that group is called. Sorry, Radium. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You were talking and I went back on Twitter. I'm sorry.
You're like, well, Yield's talking. I'll go back. No, I just popped in my head 100 gex. I was trying to think of that a second ago. It reminded me of like something they might release or something like that. Anyways. Was that it, Radium? And how's the Twitter beef going? Are you winning?
Oh my god, I got distracted again.
Okay, we need to discuss the stream on-stream etiquette again after this. But okay.
Anyway, good track. The vocals was quite nice. I like the mixing on the vocals, the way they do their vocals. And yeah, that is it for me. I am going back to Twitter.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to our next submission, which is the second to last submission. There is no greater love by Miro. We've heard this before, but it's a different arrangement. It's a jazz standard, but so it's different. It's different, but it's just a different version, basically. For the people that are a little bit confused. Anyway, have fun. All right, so that was There Is No Greater Love by Miro the Woodwind Boy. This apple is real. Okay, Miro did leave us a message, which goes as follows. I am sure there will be a lot of EDM tonight, so I decided to submit some jazz. I hope to hear only good things today. How did that go for you? Okay. Not going there. All right. So, yeah, again, this is a jazz standard. So what we should be focusing on here is the improvisation, the performance itself, basically, not so much the composition. Okay. Yeah, what did you think, Guild? Guild, you're muted, in case you didn't know.
Oh, I did not know. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I definitely like this. And I'll just say what I always say. I like it because I mean it's very well played. I love actual instruments being played, especially when you know they're being played. Even better when you can see a video of someone playing an instrument. People are so far removed sometimes with actually musicianship versus programming music. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, a lot of people know, and I'm sure a lot of producers do play some kind of instrument, I would hope, but I would advise every producer to still learn an instrument and to learn how to play it and to learn how to improv, to read music, even to write. To actually play an instrument, because, if you think about it, it's a totally different skill. And if you don't know, it's enjoyable. Playing an instrument is something you enjoy doing, so it's never going to be the same as programming music. It's just something totally different. Anyway, so when you know someone's playing an instrument, you're appreciating something else. You're appreciating the fact that they can do that without messing up, especially if they're doing it live on stage. Say it's a rock band, they're playing a lead solo. It's like you're appreciating the fact that someone can do that. They've practiced for hours, so it's a different level of appreciation than just, you MIDI arranged some notes or you fixed all the mistakes. You actually play an instrument in this. So I think it's very impressive. I think you're really good at it. And I think the recording, the way you mixed it, how you had the center main instrument kind of doing the main lead, the runs and stuff, and you had the supporting two, I guess they're clarinets or whatever, supporting, but you had it mixed to the left and mixed to the right. And I just really loved the way you had it spaced. It sounded like a recording from a studio because they were so deliberately put in those spaces, but it was nice. It sounded like it, and because it was short too, it was bite size is what I always said. I always say about it, I like bite sized music, as even Blae was expressing, he likes short songs. I like it when you could take the whole song in and it's short enough to be okay, this was a really, you could remember the beginning, the middle, and the end all in one little I guess really nice piece. I really enjoyed it. I think at one point, the background clarinets, the ones that were supporting on the left and the right, the left just a little too loud on just one. No, that's again just being super picky and trying to find something bad to say. Honestly, I think maybe you could made it a little softer in the background, but I don't know. They were all very up front, even though they were spaced, one in the middle, one in the left, one. They were all really in my ear still. So I don't know if you want to put the left and right one a little farther back in the mix. I don't know. But other than that, I just really enjoyed it. It was refreshing. And it's just coming from someone that listens to mainly heavy bass electronic music and stuff, but appreciates all music. So anyways, good job, Miro. And I'll pass it over to Blae.
Okay. So yeah, I believe this was sort of a rushed last minute recording, which happened which was done just shortly before stream. So there are certain issues, but no, yeah, it's super refreshing to hear proper jazz standard, and it's just nice. It's just nice. I think the arrangement is really, really good, and I'm wondering if you actually arranged this, or if this was arranged by someone else, because it's a really nice mix with the bass, clarinet, saxophone. It's really nice, works really well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can really criticize here, because it was such a short-term thing. As I believe this was a very last-minute submission. So I don't know how into like how much detail I should go, but staying in times of rhythm, like small issues here and there, stuff like that. But I mean this is I mean you probably already know this if you listen to it, you identify it. So yeah. But yeah, okay. So I just see Miro responded and saying that it is his arrangement, which is really great. That's a really nice sound. I like it. Really good, really good. Yeah, really good. Yeah, yeah. Would like to hear a more planned out recording at some point. Less rushed. Though it did sound really good. And I think it's just speaking for what people can achieve when they really, sort of you get into knowing what they're doing. You can really achieve good stuff. Right. I'm gonna give it over to Radium.
I am still distracted. I am about to. Anyway, fuck your apple. First of all, second of all, I don't think I'm the best person in the world to be reviewing jazz, but from what I heard, it sounded. If it was an improvisation, it sounded like a quite nice improvisation. It felt like it had a direction. It felt like it had a story to tell. Kind of short, but sometimes shorter, sweeter. So yeah, overall, I like what I heard. I'm not the best at reviewing jazz and stuff, but I don't know. It sounded good to me. Yeah, and fuck your apple.
It's a beef with the apple. The apple is real. You can tell because it's got a face, and real things have. So what happened in the chat here? Oh, I guess I'll wait for that a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got one more.
Yeah, we got one last submission, which is by me. I hope you guys enjoy. It's a work in progress in a way, so it just fades out at the end. It's not finished. All right. Hope you guys enjoy. Have fun. This is our working number 780. I've gone past this since, but yeah. Have fun. Okay, so that was working number 780 by me. I did not leave as a note because I'm an idiot, but I'm also right here, so I can tell a bit more about this right now. Yeah, it's an organ piece for organ. That's it. What did you think, Guild?
Well, I liked it. I mean, my feedback is kind of the same as I gave Miro, in the sense that I love all instruments, and especially the pretty sounding instruments like organs and stuff. And to hear them played well or performed well or sequenced well or whatever, it's just enjoyable for me. So this was really nice to listen to. I don't just listen to organ by itself ever, unless I'm at church or something. Even that usually has singing to go along with it. And it's like, I enjoy the sound of it, and it seems like you, being someone that like actually works with this music all the time, you probably really enjoy these sounds. So I know for you, you're just like really trying to like, you enjoy the sound of the organ for sure, and you created this piece with the organ, and you would only hope that the people listening to it would also enjoy the sound of an organ, which I do. I don't know if everyone does. I think it's a really pretty instrument. But again, I would not listen to this like on its own unless it was played for me. Like, unless Blae was like, "Hey, check out my song," I'd be like, "Okay, cool." Or unless I was like, "Okay, I'm in this mood where I want to listen to I want some organ music. I just want to listen to some organ music in the background while I work on my studies or whatever, or listen." I'd put it on. But I personally, because again, I listen to dance music and stuff. It's not something I'd put on. I just enjoy it when I hear it. So the reason why I say that is because, again, I think so much of the stuff that does get played here on our feedback stream is stuff that Blae actually would never go out of his way to listen to. I'm not talking about the track themselves. I'm talking about the genre, like even the genre itself. So again, I don't go out of my way to listen to just kind of like what you would call this. I don't know, just an organ piece. A 780. So you got why did you name it 780? This is like literally 780
yeah,
like ideas.
that's all my pieces are numbered. Not all of them have titles when they get numbered, and they still get numbered just to keep track of where I am. So this was working number 780. I've hit 800 just this week. So,
congrats on that.
Yeah.
No, that's a lot. It's cool, but it's a neat way to
those are 800 projects. Not all of them have been released or even finished. Like this one has not been finished, but I'm going to. Yeah. No.
I would say one of my favorite things, though. I mean, you can say more about your track. I'm just saying, but just to finish, kind of like my feedback, because one thing that you were always mentioning is like storytelling, and to enjoy a piece. So say again, like I'm saying, like I want to go out of my way to listen to this just because, like, there's only so much time in the day, and I'm usually listening to other stuff. But if I'm in the mood for it, I would really enjoy this. So I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood for organ piece. I'm going to put this on, or say it was. I know you hate when people say this, but say it was in a movie. Or something, or say I was listening to it and I was enjoying it. What's the most enjoyable part of it is the journey it does take you on. It really is telling a story. It's like it takes from one part to the next part to the next part, and you're enjoying enjoying where it's going to go, and it kind of just comes to a nice closing. It's just you're a really good storyteller, as you're always mentioning with your music, and it really shows in this piece. So good job on that. Yeah, I would I would like to hear this. I would like to hear, like, if I was to hear kind of like more of this or whatever, I would like to hear some kind of supporting element, whether that's a video or some other like a song that came before and after it that gave this a little bit more context, or maybe one of their ideas. Another instrument that finally came in, but not in this piece, but like another piece with, or just kind of something a little bit more to grab my attention. But on its own, it's just an organ piece that I would not normally go out of my way to listen to. But since I did, I really enjoyed it. Good job, Blae.
Right. Yeah. No, this I think this definitely stands on its own more than being part of anything else, like background music or something like that. But I am considering of putting this into a larger collection of pieces which sort of don't belong to one thing. So I'm planning to release 2 CDs, or possibly not 2 CDs, but 2 albums, which might also get released on CD. It's a possibility, not a guarantee. One being for piano pieces, just random piano pieces I've written, which don't really, they can't make up an entire CD for on their own. And also for organ, because I have a bunch of organ pieces ready, and also some more unfinished works. But yeah, I do really enjoy the organ. It's a beautiful instrument to work with. Though you work with one organ and work with the next, it's an entirely different instrument again. So for me, it's not so, because I use the plugin that you can see on the cover art, which is called Organ Tech, which is a plugin developed by ModArt with 2T at the end. It's a physically modeled organ, so it's a virtual instrument that doesn't use any samples, but they actually simulate airflow through digitally modeled pipes, so it generates the sound based on the physics simulation that runs on your computer, which is really awesome. But that's how I'm sort of able to work on the same instrument with the same sound for across multiple pieces, which normally when you compose for organ, you sort of have to keep in mind that it works on other organs as well, which I do still do that, of course, because I want people to be able to play it on any organ, where it should work. But it's always going to sound a bit different, because every organ is different. There is no standard to this. Every organ is different with the things you can do, you can't do, and how they sound, especially how they sound. Yeah.
Especially a drawbar organ, when you start moving those drawbars and stuff, you're like, you get such different tonal quality.
Yeah, they all have really unique stops, or they're called stops or registers. There's other knobs you see there on the left. You pull them out to basically activate channels to activate the airflow to different compartments within the organ. So different sounds, different pipes, many different pipes. There is sort of, I wouldn't say a standard sound, but a common organ sound. Just the way some of these pipes are manufactured, they still sound totally different across multiple organs, because it's all handcrafted. It isn't like something you can mass produce, and you wouldn't have to, because it's super rare where you put these in concert houses or auditorium for whatever, and of course our churches. So yeah, it's not mass manufactured, not at all. It's usually custom tailored to the building, and sometimes the building is built around the organ. So these are massive instruments, and I just love them for that. They're an entire orchestra. They replace an entire orchestra. That's their purpose, sort of. Actually, it is sort of the purpose. So it's great working with them. It's really great working with them, making really complex pieces that you could never play on a piano, for example. I mean, you could, arrange it for, a simpler harmony maybe, or just, compose rearrange it for, two people to play on the same piano, for example. You could do that. But yeah, this is just, true and honest one-man orchestra, and it's great. I love it. Yeah, no, I love organs. This plugin is great. It's given me a lot of opportunity to really explore writing for the organ more. And this was one of the pieces that pushed me further with one of my larger compositions, which is actually, I believe, a number below that. But I sort of did them at the same time, which is a 7-minute long piece, which I'm going to release at some point during this year if everything goes well. Yeah, that's a lot of rambling. Damn. But I want to hear what Radium has to say. Unless Radium is still on Twitter.
I am still on Twitter. I am shocked. I will not spell the T, but I am shocked by people. People have the audacity. Yes. I actually listened to your track many times as I was on Twitter to make sure I'm not too distracted. I quite liked it. I am not the best. I'm not the best at reviewing some music styles, but I quite liked the track. Do you know what it's going to be for? Is there a context to it?
There is always context to my pieces in terms of story. But in terms of purpose, the purpose is telling the story. It's not supposed to go with something in that case. But I usually I'm trying to well, with this one, not exactly, because I wouldn't release this on its own. Probably it would be part of a bigger collection of pieces. But I'm not sure if I want to talk too much about the story behind this. I can just say it does stand on its own. It's not supposed to go along with a movie, for example. So it's not a score, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, guys, I can definitely hear the story part. I can definitely hear okay, so for me it was kind of a jovial kind of sound with a hint of adventure there and there, so I can definitely hear. That's why I was asking if there was like a story or context behind it, because I can definitely hear.
There's always a context. It's just just not always something that goes along with it. To look at, sometimes I'll have an artwork. Sometimes it's a score for a movie. Of course, it makes sense. But yeah, in this case, it just stands on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it works on its own. I feel like it tells its own story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Overall, if I had to speak just about the melody, I liked it. I don't have much to say. Yeah, I liked it. Ooh, I'm a great reviewer, but
Yes, great, great. No, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
I like the switches in the melody too. The vibe changes throughout. I like that.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I love
Really good
having I love having these mood shifts. Yeah, that's something I always do. Is sometimes within the first minute of something, I'll go from, oh, this is very happy, to fuck, I'm depressed. Can happen, will happen, does happen a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, I believe we're at the end of this stream. Yeah.
Perfect timing then. We got 8 submissions in today, even
Yeah.
a remix and a
We have
host
1 minute
submission.
left.
Well, I will say thanks for submitting, Blae, and as always, thanks for streaming. Thanks for everyone, if you've made it this far in the stream, for still being here and joining us today. Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks, Miro, and everyone. I'll see y'all later. Remember, tomorrow I'll be doing my production stream on Twitch for the MPA production stream. You never know who's going to stop by. It's 8 p.m. UTC on Twitch, the Music Production Amino Twitch channel. Look for the link in the community. I'll make sure I broadcast that out tomorrow when I go live. We will be working on. I'm going to be working on the final my final version of the 3 instrument challenge.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
please stop by. See y'all then, and see y'all next week if that. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Oh, thanks, Radio.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, Radio. Bye.
You're welcome.